Hey neighbors, Pastor Stephen here from Guilford Park Presbyterian Church. I'm hoping that your week is going well. We gathered here a few days ago to journey through the story of Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well, and we learned that this is not a one-way street, but that this story is a story of Jesus' ministry of mutuality, in which he goes to this woman and he says, I see that you have been shamed your whole life, that you have been judged, that you have been spoken down to, but I am choosing to see you as a beloved child who is worthy of dignity and respect, and that you have something to bring to the table. So he says to her, you have worth, you have something that I need, I'm thirsty, will you give me a drink? And so we employed our holy curiosity to wonder how we can give one another a drink, both literally and metaphorically, that living water that sustains us for the living of these days. Well, this Sunday we continue our Lenten march through the Scriptures, and this Sunday will also be a passage from John's Gospel in John chapter 9. It's the story of Jesus and the man who had been born blind. And the topic for the day, or the sermon title, is going to be called Who Sinned? Because when the disciples encountered this man who had been born blind, they had been taught to ask a specific question, who sinned? Because back then, when one of their neighbors had a disability, the common thought was, well, somebody must have screwed up in order for this person to have deserved such a fate. So they were taught to ask that question, who sinned? And we'll pay close attention this week to how Jesus responded to that question. And actually, if we look at the text itself, it's almost an entire chapter of John's Gospel. A very tiny portion of this passage is about what we would call the healing itself. The vast majority of the rest of the passage is on how the people in the neighborhood react to the fact that this man who had been born blind is now healed. And we'll talk about maybe it's not just that man who needed to be healed, but rather it was the wider community that, when they were given an opportunity to rejoice at the fact that one of their neighbors had been restored to his due place in the neighborhood, instead of celebrating it, they kind of pecked it apart and said, well, what happened here? Was this allowed to happen? Should this have happened? So we'll talk a little bit about what that means for us and the way that we order our lives as Christians here and now. We hope you'll join us. Busy times these Sundays here at Guilford Park Presbyterian Church. If you are a young family and you have any children or youth that would like to participate, we have something that happens before worship at 9 o'clock in the Westminster Room called Breakfast in the Bible. It's when Miss Kim gets together to talk about Scripture with our young families. We have some tasty treats. I've been known to go in there on occasion and steal a donut in a moment of self-confession. And that will be at 9 o'clock. All are welcome. Worship is at 10. At 11:15 after worship, we will continue our march through Rachel Held Evans' book, Searching for Sunday. I'll be leading this week, and we'll be talking about her section on communion. And then we will continue our journey through the hit viral TV series The Chosen, watching episode 3 at 5 p.m. and then our discussion at 5:45 p.m. If you want to come to either or both, that is fine. Lynn Carey will be leading both of those events. So folks, we're grateful for you. Hope that you all are having a wonderful week. Thank you for being a part of the neighborhood here at Guilford Park Presbyterian Church. There's room for you. Take care, y'all. See you on Sunday.